I believe in an America that is officially neither Catholic, Protestant, nor Jewish, where no public official either requests or accepts instructions on public policy from the Pope, the National Council of Churches, or any other ecclesiastical source. Where no religious body seeks to impose its will, directly or indirectly, upon the general populace or the public acts of its officials.
Welcome back to Hardball. That's John F. Kennedy back in 1960 down in Houston. The Bishop of Providence has been engaged in a series of sharp exchanges these days with U.S. Congressman Patrick Kennedy over abortion rights. Over the weekend, Congressman Kennedy revealed that Bishop Thomas Tobin, had asked him not to receive communion because of his support for abortion rights in Congress. Bishop Thomas Tobin joins us now. Your Excellency, what do you make of that quote from Kennedy back in 60? I believe in an America where no public official either requests or accepts instruction on public policy from the Pope.
Sure, and that's a good reference and a very famous quote, of course. A little bit of a difference, though. I think what the ex-president was talking about was the establishment of a national religion. And in fact, what we're trying to do is not dictate what public policy should be in the United States from a purely Catholic doctrinal point of view. What we're trying to do most of all is instill good human values, but also have Catholics who are in political office be faithful to the dictates of the church and the dictates of their conscience and the teachings of the church.
I don't see how you read it that way, Your Excellency. I believe in an America where no public official either requests or accepts instruction on public policy from the church. I don't know how you read that any other way than the way then Senator Kennedy said it. No instruction on public policy from his church. You think he meant something different than what he said?
I suppose there are different ways of approaching that, but the point is that any Catholic in public office, his first commitment has to be to his faith. Not just for a Catholic, but for a member of any religious community. No commitment is more important than your commitment to your faith because it involves your relationship with God. And if your faith somehow interferes with, or your job gets in the way of your faith, as I've said on other occasions, you need to quit your job and save your soul. Nothing can become more important than your relationship with God.
If you were a member of Congress, and I know you're a political junkie from reading about you and talking to my friends about you, Your Excellency, what would be your voting record on abortion? How would you deal with the issue if you got to vote in Congress?
Of course, I'm not a member of Congress, but if I were, I certainly would never be in a position of supporting any degree of abortion legislation that enables or facilitates or encourages abortion. Keep in mind what we believe about abortion. Every time an abortion takes place, a baby dies. I don't know how people of good conscience, especially people from a Catholic background, could take that position in good conscience.
Well, what law would you pass?
Well, I think
that's what we're talking about here, Your Excellency, the law, not the morality of the issue, but the law. You're coming down on Congressman Kennedy and on other public officials because of the way they're approaching the law. What law would you write if you had the authority to do that?
Sure, I think I would write laws that preserve and protect human life to the extent that it's completely possible.
That's the value. That's the value you recognize. This isn't about values. This is about human behavior. What law would you pass? Would you outlaw abortion?
I think that was certainly where our nation would want to move, much like it was before that disastrous decision of Roe v. Wade.
So you would vote to outlaw. No, I really want to get... We have to get down to this because your problem with Congressman Kennedy is his position on the law, what the law should read on abortion. What should the law be? What should a good Catholic, as you would put it, believe about the law? Should the law outlaw? Should it ban abortion? Is that what a good Catholic should do? Because you're instructing people now how to vote. So tell Catholics now on television how they should vote as members of Congress.
Sure. Catholics should vote as members of Congress on laws that preserve and protect human rights. I don't know that I'm in a position to comment on specific pieces of legislation because, as you know, there are hundreds of them and thousands of them.
Would you outlaw it? Let me ask you a broad question. Would you outlaw it?
Absolutely, because abortion is the taking of innocent human life.
Right, I know. Right. So that's where your difference is with Congressman Kennedy. He wouldn't outlaw it. Isn't that your difference?
Yeah, that's a huge difference. And keep in mind that I didn't go after Congressman Kennedy. I didn't single him out. I didn't look for him. I responded to things that he had said when he initiated his first unprovoked attack on the church, and other things he's written since then. So I haven't gone after him. I've responded to things that he has said consistently.
You said that we should go back to where we were before Roe v. Wade in '73. So let's go back to that if that is the prescription you're offering here. If you outlaw abortion at the state level, say at the Rhode Island level or at the Pittsburgh level in Pennsylvania where you come from or anything like that, then you make it illegal for a person to go get an abortion. So what does that do in fact? What's the effect on human life? You want to respect and preserve human life. What is the effect that has if you say a doctor can't perform an abortion? Would you criminalize it? Would you put people in jail? If it's murder as you see it, would you criminalize it?
Well, the first effect on human life is that it would preserve human life, especially the life of the unborn child.
How would it work? I don't know. That's one of the questions I have. How would it work if you outlawed it?
Sure. Well, again, I think it would depend on the specific piece of legislation that was crafted, and I'm not in a position, I wouldn't even pretend to be in a position to do that. But the
well, that's
point
what you're
is
doing here. You're saying that
human life.
Congressman Kennedy...